How you guys doing?
Good.
Okay. You know, I'll let the Rev talk for himself.
You know, surviving, as they say. That's about it.
Yeah, I hear that.
Now, Adam, you said first when I'm sorry, Chad, for a minute. I got to ask Adam. I keep forgetting that report that they had the fictitious report about Trump hiring ladies of the night.
I don't know anything about that other than that it exists somewhere.
Did you ever hear anybody tell you what it is?
No.
You never heard it when they spoke about it?
No, other than the fact that there's a report that is unsubstantiated and all that stuff. But,
yeah.
So.
Did you hear about it?
You know, that's kind of it's just a matter of time. That's somebody's going to flush out. I mean, I'm surprised nobody has hacked his tax return.
What's the big deal about his tax returns?
It's a big deal because it tells you what he's dealing with, and we don't really know.
As far as what?
I mean, it tells you where his income's coming from, where his expenses are, stuff like that. You know, it tells you where his interest, the dividends, all that kind of stuff. It tells exactly where it's all coming from. So.
What is this financial disclosure?
If it's accurate, it tells you a whole lot.
What does the financial disclosures tell you?
I don't know, but they don't tell you everything.
I don't know neither. Okay.
What about Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What somebody from the ethics committee said. Now, this is not a political appointee. This is a whatchamacallit, a lifetime civil servant. He said after reviewing everything that was given to him, he said Trump can do a lot more as far as divesting. He said he hasn't done nearly enough. He said there's too many things that people can question, decisions that are being made. And like one of the news people said, journalists, they said, you mean to say on a Sunday dinner, let's assume they're all together on Sunday, that business is not going to come up, or that there's a question, Trump poo-poos everything. He says, well, if the boys don't do a good job after 8 years, I'll fire them. That's what he said. That's his answer. And they said that his lawyer did not even go into any great detail, the woman who was laying out exactly what he was going to do.
I was listening. I thought it was pretty thorough, what she said.
Well, you and I are lay people. These were other lawyers who were listening to what she said.
Well, most of the people that I heard people talking about it were not lawyers, were news people having their opinions.
Well, look, the only thing we could be positive of is that Trump's going to do things his way. Okay?
So what'd you say? Hey, Chad, we'll get to the religious side in a little bit. This is still politics.
Yeah, that's fine, guys. I'm honestly just I'm on for just a little bit today, and
we miss you.
My 2 cents. I'll hear the political stuff.
We miss you, Chad.
How's everything going with you? Everything good?
Yeah, things are well.
You get our birthday wishes?
Just cranking along. What's that?
I said, did you get our birthday wishes?
I did, yes. You know what? I'm so bad at Facebook, but I do appreciate your birthday wishes. I think I did send a kind of a mass text to everybody. It said, happy birthday to me. There was some money, and I'm not a Facebook guy, so I just I go on once a year. In fact, there's a funny picture of one of our friends with her husband, and he's on the couch. She took a picture of him on his phone, and the caption underneath the picture said, "The once a year my husband goes on his Facebook account to thank everybody for his birthday wishes. That's kind of me, you know. I'm not really I don't really get sucked into the whole Facebook thing, but I appreciate it.
Well, got to tell you, you have a lovely family. Okay,
I do.
I enjoyed the shots with your other relatives around Christmas time. You know, the whole family. You know, that's always nice to see.
Yeah, I got a big family.
Yeah, that's great. Now, back to you, Adam. You there still? Adam.
He hasn't fallen asleep yet.
Yeah.
Now, you at the beginning, you said something pretty provocative, and we never let you elaborate on it. You said Trump is a madman. Is that what you said?
Oh, he's a crazy man.
Crazy man?
He's crazy, yeah.
Well, but look at Felix. Come on, Felix.
I want to hear what he says.
Look at how he conducts himself.
I want to hear what he says. Can I hear what he's going to say?
He tweets like a 15-year-old. I mean, he's insulting. You know, he has no continuity of thought. You know, he's just all over the place.
Yeah, can I interject?
Please do.
I want to interject with something. I'm hearing all sorts of things about Donald Trump and the haters and the lovers. Look, this is exactly the problem that I preach to you guys all the time. Look, we're putting too much emphasis on a person. You know, a lot of people didn't like the fact that Obama went in office. But you know what you do? You suck it up. You hope the guy does well for our country. You pray for him. You know, and just, who cares that Donald Trump is president? Honestly, he's a puppet. He might do good things, and he might do bad things. Well, guess what? So did every darn president in American history. Some did good, some did bad, some had a mix of both. I don't know what the big deal is. I've never seen such rivalry between conservatives and liberal in my life. And that is the God of this country. The God of this country is liberalism versus conservatism. And it's ridiculous. If we would go back to what the true living God says and become a theocracy, we wouldn't have any of these arguments. It wouldn't be a liberal or conservative end. But for some reason, Donald Trump has a ton of power, and everybody's emotions and demeanors, it's incredible. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Well, you know, even Obama said, you know, that when he was interviewed at the beginning, just after the election, he said, look, the election is over. He's going to be the president. And you hope that he succeeds, because if he succeeds, the country succeeds. You know, I mean, but if you, but you know, if you like Adam said, if you read his tweets, if somebody says something about him, he can't leave it alone. He's got to respond, and usually it's like a little kid, you know.
Yeah.
But if you listen to his.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? There were a lot of things that I didn't agree with Obama on, but I didn't like how Obama got mistreated. Obama got mistreated in a lot of ways from the conservatives. You know, I would fall under that branch, right? Like conservative, Christian, whatever the heck that means. I don't want to consider myself in anything.
Well, the one thing that Obama said,
I think that Obama got mischaracterized a lot, and he got abused quite a bit. And I didn't think that was right at all. I don't stand for his views on certain things. But my goodness, we need to just stand behind our president and just hope that he does something good for the country, rather than. And the only thing that I really am very weary about with Obama was his dishonoring of Israel. And I don't understand why a man like Obama, whether he's a Muslim or not, would do something like that to our Middle Eastern ally. In fact, the last thing that he did with Biden was they decided to sustain from that veto You've never
Right.
seen that happen, right? That's historic. You know, so that's the only thing that I have against Obama, really, is his whatever hatred he has towards Israel, for whatever God knows reason, is very strange to me. And of course, his view on things like abortion and whatever. Look, I think that Obama was a good president in some sense too.
You know, if
And
you
Trump's going to come in. He'll do the same darn thing. He'll bring back that American feeling. He'll be more conservative. He's going to be friends with Israel. And one thing you got to watch out for, and I will say this with a warning, I think it's fascinating that somebody like Donald Trump is buddying up with Putin.
that's what
I
they're
don't know
all
why
saying.
that's happening. But what's interesting is when the Antichrist comes, he's got to do something that is so remarkable that people love him for, that would cause the Middle East to cease in a peace agreement between Israel and many. If Russia decides to sustain from their aggressive, let's bring down the Middle East and control it for power's sake, and all of a sudden they help America get rid of the radical Muslims, and all of a sudden the Middle East has this peace feeling, you may see a very interesting Donald Trump there. I'm not saying he's the Antichrist. I'm just saying these are some of the attributes of Scripture that are from the Antichrist.
You know, Putin has his grasp on the Middle East and Syria. He also has, he wants to advance further into the Ukraine and the Baltic countries, Georgia and the like.
Oh, sure.
And when Trump now, the Secretary of Defense and Tillerson both said how important the UN has been, and Trump is bad-mouthing the UN, saying we should stop paying dues because we're the only ones who are, we're practically funding the UN.
Well, most of the other countries are not paying their dues.
One thing has nothing to do with the other. The UN is, in many cases, what's preventing Russia from doing what they would like to do across the world.
UN? I doubt
UN
it.
troops. Yeah, the United States just sent 4,000 or 5,000 troops into Poland.
You talking about UN, or you talking about what do you call it?
Talk about NATO.
NATO.
Oh, NATO. I'm sorry, NATO. My bad.
Yeah.
NATO.
Yes. NATO, same thing. Trump said everybody's got to put their money in.
If it wasn't for organizations like NATO and CEDAW, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, we would have war all around the world, and who's going to fight? American troops are going to fight. At least they have some place where they could sit down and discuss and try to come to some sort of agreement.
Well, let's say you're Poland or any of the other countries there, and you want protection for the United States, and your dues or whatever they are to be in the NATO, and you don't put them in. Do you think they should be paying their fair share?
Poland is a democracy. Poland fought real hard to become a democracy. If Poland falls and becomes communist...
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, do you think they should pay their fair share into NATO?
What are you supposed to do?
Just like England.
Pay
just
up?
like France.
You're supposed, before you send troops in, you got to say pay up?
No, there is a fund that goes into NATO.
Yeah.
That nobody's paying into except us. And what Trump, if you listen to Trump, he said he wants to see the other countries contribute also right now.
Well, I could agree with that, but it's a matter of what he wants them to contribute and what they can afford to contribute.
They all agreed on a certain amount when they formed NATO to contribute a certain amount of their gross product.
Truth be told, if Trump No, he didn't have that much money. But, you know,